Do you believe that the Iran ceasefire creates leverage for a Gaza breakthrough, or does it risk letting Gaza war drift further without a political endgame?
Look, there's clearly a connection between Iran and Gaza. Iran, after all, the Iranian regime has been a major supporter of Hamas, and there are indications, and we've heard this from sources in Saudi Arabia as well as elsewhere in the Middle East, that what happened on October 7th, 2023, the atrocities committed by Hamas, the invasion of southern Israel by Hamas forces, the killing of some 1,200 people in Israel, and the kidnapping of 251 who were then held hostage for a very long time in Gaza, all of that was all part of an Iranian plan to prevent the possibility of Saudi-Israeli normalization, which was moving forward. And we've heard this from Saudi sources, American sources, and other sources, Israeli sources, that on the eve of October 7th, there were indications that Saudi-Israeli normalization was moving forward, and Iran very much wanted to stop Saudi-Israeli normalization, because Saudi-Israeli normalization, true peace, would have essentially ended the Arab-Israeli conflict. And keeping alive the Arab-Israeli conflict is very much in the interest of the Islamic Republic of Iran, which counts on turmoil and instability in the Middle East to advance its own agenda, to exert greater influence, have greater power in that region. And so what Hamas did was not an accident on October 7th. It was all part of a large plan. And can an Iran that no longer has that kind of influence, that kind of ability to support Hamas, and it becomes a normal country in the region rather than a supporter of terrorist proxies in Lebanon, in Gaza, in Yemen, in Iraq, and elsewhere. Will that allow us to make real progress in Gaza? Yeah, sure. If Hamas no longer has the outside support, the funding, which a lot of which has been choked off, the supply of weapons, a lot of which has been prevented, and is allowed to basically just wither without that kind of outside support, it will be positive. There will still be issues. There is still some support for Hamas among the Gaza population. I think there's probably a majority that is fed up with Hamas and the dictatorial regime that it has run in Gaza, and the destruction that it brought on the people of Gaza, the Palestinian population, because of its attack on October 7th and what followed. So there will be, it will be positive if the Iranian issue is put to rest. It won't necessarily immediately resolve the crisis in Gaza. We really do have to get Hamas to be disarmed and to no longer exert power, influence in Gaza, and be able to advance on the agenda that was set out in the peace plan, the 20-point plan that was put forward, frankly, by President Trump last fall, which has elements that would lead to Palestinian self-governance and a return to a normal situation in Gaza with a non-Hamas and non-corrupt, therefore highly reformed, fully reformed Palestinian Authority in control going forward. We're a long way from that, but we can make progress on that front, especially if Iran no longer poses the obstacle that it has long posed.